It was supposed to be just another simple night, dinner, then some forgettable movie neither of us truly cared about. The kind of evening you sink into when love feels steady and familiar. Or so I believed. She chuckled at something on her phone, the faint glow of the screen lighting her face in the dim room. For the briefest moment, I caught sight of a name I didn't recognize. Something deep inside me twisted into a knot. She noticed my gaze, flipped the phone face down in an instant, and laughed again. "Nobody," she said casually. "Just a friend." But when someone says nobody and hides their phone like it's a burning secret, you don't need evidence. You already know. I tried to push the thought aside, to enjoy the evening and pretend I hadn't just witnessed the first crack in everything we'd built. But my mind wouldn't stop racing. Her smile felt different, forced. Her touch didn't linger like it used to. And her eyes were somewhere else entirely. I didn't confront her that night. There were no accusations, no raised voices. I simply waited, watched, listened. It didn't take long. She began staying up later, locking her phone, grinning at messages she clearly didn't want me to see. I became a ghost in my own home while she turned into a stranger wearing the face of the woman I had once loved. And then, one night, I broke. She was in the shower, steam clouding the air. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I didn't think. My hand just moved, as if it already knew the truth my heart wasn't ready to face. There it was, his name again. Only this time, it wasn't a handful of messages. It was dozens. Hundreds. Pictures. Shared memories. Plans I wasn't part of. Inside jokes, whispered desires, and laughter, the kind that used to be ours. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was intentional. She hadn't just been unfaithful, she had been quietly replacing me, piece by piece. I didn't wait for her to step out of the shower. I didn't need to hear the excuses or the lies. I walked to the closet, pulled out my bag, took only what mattered, and left. No goodbye. No note. No sound. She didn't think I'd actually go. But she didn't know me anymore. The days that followed blurred together. I checked into a cheap hotel and ignored her calls and texts. At first, she bombarded me with messages. "Where are you? Talk to me. This isn't fair. I can explain." But there was nothing left to explain. She had chosen her path, and I had chosen mine. I blocked her number, deleted our photos, unfollowed her everywhere. I tried to erase her from my life, though you never truly erase someone you once loved. You just lower the volume of their memory. 2 weeks later, I moved into a small apartment and began again. Slowly, I started breathing without her. Some nights, I'd still wake up reaching for her, a cruel habit of muscle memory. But over time, the silence became comforting. The ache stopped screaming. 6 months passed. Then one evening, she found me. I was walking home from work, groceries in one hand, headphones in the other, when I turned the corner and saw her standing outside my building. She looked smaller, not in size, but in spirit, as though guilt had crushed her from the inside out. "Hey," she said softly, as if nothing had happened. I didn't answer. I just looked at her. "Can we talk?" she asked. I should have kept walking, but I didn't. Maybe part of me still wanted to hear the truth. Maybe some part of me wanted to see if she'd admit it. We sat in a tiny cafe down the block, a place I'd never taken her, my little refuge. She stirred her coffee without drinking it. Her hands trembled. "I never thought you'd actually leave," she murmured. That was her first mistake. Believing love made me weak. "It didn't," I told her. "It made me strong enough to walk away." She claimed it wasn't serious, that she'd been lost, that it was a mistake. But mistakes don't last for months. Mistakes don't send good morning texts every day. Mistakes don't slowly replace the man you share a bed with. She cried. Said she missed me. Said life hadn't been the same without me. And I believed her, but belief didn't matter. Regret doesn't undo betrayal, and guilt isn't the same as love. "I don't need you to forgive me," she whispered. "I just wanted you to know I still think about us." I nodded. For the first time in a long while, I felt nothing. No pain, no rage, no longing. Just clarity. "You think about us," I said quietly, "but you didn't fight for us when it mattered." She didn't argue. She couldn't. She stood there, waiting for me to say something more. But I'd already said what needed saying. I left her sitting at that table and walked back into my life, a life that had no space for someone who once believed I'd stay no matter what. If someone shows you how little you mean to them, believe it. Don't wait for closure. Don't wait for apologies that arrive too late. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away when they least expect it, and never turn back.